Why is there a whole fandom that thinks Darth Vader did nothing wrong? Why are people dressing up like Homelander unironically? Well, we've reached a point in pop culture where the villain isn't just iconic, they're aspirational. But this didn't happen overnight. Media, and by extension, all of us, made it cool to be evil, as long as you had swag and power. By now, we've all seen the video where Medai Hassan massacres 20 neo-fascists, which means we've also all seen this guy. Well, the reason I'm doing this video is because a tweet from @DeathMetalKing. What I want to focus on is right here. Right-wingers don't want to debate. They want to be the bad guys. This is spot on. Many of these people are social media commentators, and I mean that lightly. Honestly, I would say grifters, but who's to say? They're looking for that bag. They're looking for that money. And this guy, who looks like the villain from that Deadly Do-Right cartoon, is a prime example of entertainment culture bleeding into real life. Villain aesthetics and attitude have become desirable. How media made the bad guy cool. Darth Vader's voice, his sleek black suit, and crimson red lightsaber. Vegeta's scowl, pride, and ego. Omni-Man's power, and his lack of accountability. From the 1980s onward, we stylized villains to look cooler than heroes. Heroes became cookie-cutter boring. You know, Superman, Captain America. Think about it. People like the big blue Boy Scout, Superman, and Captain America haven't changed much, while villains had drama, pain, power, making them more relatable, thus drawing more fans to them. And because the villains are much cooler, we inadvertently stripped nuance from their characters and turned cruelty into edge and edge into a style, right? So point is, because of that, villains stopped being warnings. They became wish fulfillment. Homelander from The Boys is just Superman plus ego plus genocide. But people love him because he says the quiet part out loud. And the quiet part is that many humans, if they had the power, will wipe out a whole ethnic group just because they feel superior to said ethnic group. Conservative fandom and the Empire. Star Wars has a whole Empire fandom. Of course they do. It's a great story. However, people cosplay stormtroopers and join blogs where they can roleplay as personnel in stormtrooper regiments. Some rock Imperial logos like it's a sports team. For God's sakes, the Empire are literal fascists, and the Imperial cog is a swastika. It's, the dark side of the force versus the light side of the force, when one side commits genocide because they don't get what they want. Now, let's go to another fandom. Punisher. Same with Punisher and his skulls. Even though the character hates cops, the cops wear those, like, they don't understand. Right-wing fandom don't misinterpret these characters. They choose to ignore the moral. It's not misunderstanding. It's fantasy. They want the Empire. Why do people love Omni-Man, Anakin Skywalker, or even movie Thanos? Not comic book Thanos so much because he had different aspirations. They love them because they dominate and they're unapologetic about it. These characters were scorned in some way, and the fans may feel their response to that scorning is justified. Relatability for many of them. This kind of reminds me of an African proverb. It goes, a child that does not feel the acceptance of the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. I want you to stew in what I just said. Let's think about it, how it relates. Now, In other cases, in the media, power and freedom from morality equals sexy. Donald J. Trump, now I'm not calling him sexy, but Donald J. Trump is a perfect example of this. All the money in the world, still a scammer, convicted felon, accused and admitted sexual assaulter, is in the Epstein files and still is the president of the United States of America. Now, if you want a comic book example, Joker and Harley Quinn is perfect as well. It doesn't matter what they do to the Bat family. It doesn't matter what they do to Gotham or the people around them. People unequivocally love them. So what now? The problem isn't that we love complex villains. I love Itachi from Naruto. But let's be real. He committed genocide, groomed or not. That's what it was. I love Piccolo. But he kidnapped and emotionally wrecked a 6-year-old Gohan before finally chilling out. I think it was actually 3. And yeah, I love Anakin too. I even identified with him on some levels, but none of what he did was justified. It was selfish, petty, and fueled by fear. He slaughtered countless Jedi just to maybe save 3 people. That's not love, that's delusion. The problem isn't loving these characters, it's idolizing them uncritically. The issue is that entertainment rarely reminds us that these characters are supposed to be cautionary tales. Instead, it puts them in cool outfits, gives them dramatic music, and sells their pain like it's sexy. And when the dust settles, it's all forgiven. Anakin gets to be a glowing blue ghost. Omni-Man probably is gonna get a redemption arc. Vegeta never faced a single consequence. Dude got clemency, a family, and a bad bitch for a wife. Where they do that at? And that lack of accountability sets the stage for people to imitate them, online and in real life. And that is not good. So, what did we learn? We didn't just make the villain cool. We made the villain the goal. And now some folks aren't pretending. They're becoming. Who would have thought? Anyway, if you like media breakdowns like this and discussions, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me your favorite villain and whether you think the fandom misunderstood them or just didn't care. All right? Thank you.
The bamboo earrings, baby.